Welcome to Cruising with Kayfabe. I'm Mongo.
I'm Emily.
And today we're going to be talking about All Out. After a great All In, we're now heading 2 weeks later to Chicago. Well, they're already in Chicago, but we're getting ready to talk about All Out. We actually have Collision live playing in the background just in case there's any developing information. But we're going to go over our predictions, give you what we think is going to happen. But before we start the predictions, I just want to talk about how your boy nailed a match setup with his prediction. I'm 90% sure that I said Daniel Garcia was going to come back and cost MJF the match and set up a match for All Out. And now, Red Death DG is back, baby.
Did you see his Titantron?
No.
It's a lot of red.
I mean, I'm glad Red Death's back. I can't ever... I know some people don't like him. I just think he's probably one of the future technical wrestlers. He's one of the best in-ring workers, and now he's developing a personality. He fucking hit MJF with a microphone 2 weeks ago.
Pretty far away, too.
And then this week, MJF, bodied him, and I feel like people are sleeping on this match. I feel like people are, because of what happened at the end of Dynamite, I think this got lost in the sauce.
So I have done so much research trying to find if those two had a match previously before AEW, and I cannot find one. I have looked and looked and looked.
They've had promos, but I think the closest was MJF came into Limitless a couple months before he left, but I don't think they were in Limitless at the same time. And I think he was in Beyond a few months before, because MJF kind of got signed right when AEW started after All In. Danny Garcia was on the Indies for a while, but I mean him, Anthony Green when he came back, Kevin Blackwood, Big Beef, who's now in Ring of Honor with Anthony Henry, really kind of as Christian Casanova. Has really held it down, and I think gives us a little extra rooting interest, even if maybe he knocks on people's doors and maybe doesn't always impress some people. Hey, you know what? Sometimes personalities are different at 3 a.m. after a few cocktails, but I think he's still one of the best wrestlers. I'm excited. I mean, he's got to be All Elite again, right? Like, I know there's been rumors about his contract, but I don't think Tony put him in this position to come back and then lose just to leave.
Well, he was on a podcast recently talking about everything, and that basically not saying he signed, but saying he signed, and
hinting at it.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of just how it goes with wrestling right now, is they're going to get the payoff regardless of the company they want to wrestle in. They're going to make sure they get the money they deserve. And let's be real, Garcia is the future of wrestling. He's one of the young guys coming in. You have the 4 pillars of AEW from the beginning, and now you have the new transition starting. You've got Lee Moriarty coming through. You've got Daniel Garcia, and then you have the
under 30. You have the under 30-year-olds starting to rise up, which right now Takeshita is putting on a hell of a match with Beast Mordos, trying to get into the final spot of, I'm going to call it a fatal 4-way, and I'm sure some WWE fan will get upset with me, even though I'm a WWE fan as well, because you got to remember, they changed our vernacular. So right now, Okada, Mark Briscoe won tonight and Orange Cassidy won tonight. So the last spot is either going to be the Beast Mordos or Takeshita. We have the human hot dog himself on commentary trying to praise up Takeshita. I wanted a solo match with Takeshita and Okada, but I think
maybe this is how we get it.
I think this is either a good way to get the title off Takeshita. I mean, off Okada, maybe onto Takeshita without Okada taking a pin. Maybe it's to set up a feud. The Continental Classic's coming back, and it was mirrored after the G1. Okada has won 4 G1 tournaments in this, which is the record. So I kind of feel like this Continental Classic set up for Okada.
It definitely is. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think that you want to see Takeshita versus Okada?
I mean, I feel
powers in that ring. That's big men.
I mean, that's literally not, I want to say torch passing, because I think that's overused, but I feel like Okada versus an up and comer like Takeshita, getting that match together, Okada can make everyone look great, just like Omega. Can you imagine them together? Look at Ospreay and Takeshita from Revolution. How many eyes were finally on him? He beat Kenny Omega 2 times, including last year at All Out.
Well, we have Revolution sprinkled in here for a minute. I want to go and talk about the fact that on a media call today, Tony Khan talked about how Revolution and All In were the best pay-per-views AEW has ever put on, and they both happened this year. That's incredible. Like, that's exciting.
I would say I don't know if All In would make it for my like pay-per-view of the year.
But we were at Revolution.
No. And it has nothing to do with being at Revolution. I think, honestly, there's just been so much good right now. I think Revolution, just from the card top to bottom and every match delivered, we had people who told us they thought it was a pay-per-view of the year before we even had a chance to absorb it driving home. So even if you take out Sting's retirement, which you can't, you had Bryan Danielson, you had Christian versus Garcia. Again, Garcia. Every match, you had Eddie Kingston, obviously. You had the Meat Madness. You had BCC coming out in the Road Warriors. Can we talk about the chants
during that match? That was fantastic.
Meat. Which, shout out to Chicago. And shout out to Desi. Yeah, shout out to Chicago. I think Hobo Ted, Des can correct me if I'm right. Hobo Ted was in attendance at All Out where they started chanting the meat every time and kind of started that Meat Madness trend. And honestly, we have, yes, Chicago has the wildest chance.
They do say
we have a chance to do something crazy. Fans. We have Powerhouse Hobbs, you have Mordos, you have Big Bill, you have Miro, wherever the fuck he's been. You have all these people you're gonna get some meat, and as we know, Des loves the meat. So, I mean, I heard he smokes a good meat. I heard it's bomb or bomber, who knows? But I love physical matches. I love when you get them just slapping and chopping the shit out of each other, because it kind of takes you back into what wrestling was when it first started, before it became carny, before it really, you had shoot fighters like in the 30s and 40s. You had shoot fighters just like, I want to fight in this ring. And then when they realized they could make money, that's when they kind of got the whole carny aspect involved, when they started rigging the finishes. And that's kind of where like the kayfabe came in. And that's where the term mark came from, when they're at the circus and they'd mark the easy people who they'd want to put up front row, who oh my God, like they would totally mark like our tickets.
Like me.
And Takeshita is now going on to face Okada. So we actually now have that match to talk about. But I guess let's jump in it since we have some people on. I guess we'll start with Wikipedia order, which is kind of an unfair order, but let's start off with Will Ospreay versus Pac for the International Championship.
Ospreay.
It's
gonna be great.
I can't believe how they built this match in 2 weeks. I am shocked how they built this match, and him hitting that reverse Poison Rana on the stage and almost knocking Ospreay out because he's like, "Don't you forget about me, William." They've already built this great. They've already made this entertaining as hell.
So this is like a really cool matchup because obviously we know that this is a match that caused Tony to want to sign these men. Seeing this match outside of AEW, he was like, wow, those are phenomenal wrestlers. Pac, he has such a unique style of, like, of course his height difference with Will is going to come into play, but
is it though?
It is, because he's able to
he's
fly.
A short little bastard.
I think the only reason it's going to come in is because they're going to collide and it's going to be fun. I think the height difference made me more nervous about Ospreay taking that fall on the ramp. I was like, oh.
I think you underestimate Pac and Ospreay. Go back and watch.
I know. I'm excited. I'm very thrilled. We all know how I feel about Pac.
He's a bastard. They had a great match at Rev Pro. That's a time limit draw. I think that they need that decisive finish now. I don't think this match can go to anything but a finish. But you got to have Ospreay go over. I mean, Ospreay has lost very little matches. He lost one to MJF, and now he's kind of back on his winning streak. I think Pac, he's already the trios champion. He doesn't need this belt. I don't think there's shenanigans. I think it's just going to be one hell of a match. I could see it even opening the show to get that crowd hyped. I could see it opening the show, getting out everyone ready, and then just tearing the house down. I mean, you're going to have British strong style mixed with Dragon Gate, mixed with PWG all in one match. Both men are going to put on the line, and you can't say this. Pac has not had a bad match at All Out. His Orange Cassidy match, the 4-way match he had, every match he's had, it's been a banger. Will Ospreay has yet to have a bad match in AEW. This is going to be all the stars. It's going to be another fantastic match in the catalog of both the gentlemen. But I think Bruv is leaving with that title.
Yeah, it's too soon. He just got it back. He just restored it.
He restored the feeling, or took back MJF's American belt, which I still think looked cool.
I think it looked really cool. But yeah, I love custom belts anyways. But Ospreay's taking this. What do you guys think?
I just love that
it's going to be very athletic, which is my kind of a match. I'm excited.
It's Ospreay. I just love that he basically took everything that was wrong with America and basically made fun of it, and everyone cheered it anyway. And it was a fun little run. Like seeing that flag with his face all over it.
Maybe we could have used this during the like political season, make it like extend a little longer, make it comical for us all.
And Jason, this for 4-way. Yeah, I think let's talk about that one next, because I think that could also open the fatal 4-way with Okada. So, and Jason says Ospreay to retain. So we know it's Okada versus Briscoe versus Orange Cassidy versus Takeshita. We kind of knew it was going to be, the conglomeration having that they're going to team up and having Takeshita versus Okada. I see Okada retaining though. I don't see Okada losing, unless somehow they end up putting it on Takeshita, like he pins Orange Cassidy or Briscoe to set up a feud. But then do they really want to take the title off Okada? I feel like Okada needs the win to kind of keep that like unbeaten streak he's got going. I think he carries that title to the Continental Classic, enters the Continental Classic as champion, runs through and wins the whole thing. I think that's how you kind of build prestige on that belt. You build more prestige on Okada, have him go in basically in that G1 type of tournament and show why he won fucking 4 of them.
Yeah, do you remember like back when Orange Cassidy faced a bunch of people?
Yes, you're talking about when it was like ZSJ and everyone at Forbidden Door. Yes.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be kind of another way to showcase how powerful Okada is. Like it's taking this many people to take it off of him.
Over under how many times?
I think it's going to be great.
Over under how many times Okada says "bitch" on the show?
Yes.
I'm the one who not any of the matches, Taryn.
I thought you liked Will. You don't want to see him?
Will Ospreay, at least Will. Hawk.
I know Nick Nemeth isn't on here. Maybe next year. Maybe.
MJF, Daniel Garcia. You love Daniel Garcia. Why don't we go with that match next?
Yeah.
I mean, so this is just a straight up blood feud. I like it because it started out with Garcia getting challenged by MJF for Wembley. And I agree, Taryn. I hate Pac. He's a bastard, literally and figuratively. So Taryn's on.
But he's gonna get his ass beat over and over again in one match. It's gonna be phenomenal.
I agree. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to Daniel Garcia and MJF. I think too many people are sleeping on the match because again, but the story from them building it from Ospreay. Basically saying, Danny, congratulations, you get a shot at this title, and MJF being pissed off that like he was looked over, to them having MJF write Daniel Garcia off, where he came back at Wembley and set this match back up, hitting him in the head with a microphone, to completely owning him when he told him, well, you went to Turkey to get hair plugs and those didn't work, and hopefully this girl you're dating now lasts more than a year. And they definitely are going personal, and I think it's going to be entertaining as hell. But I think Garcia gets the upset here. I think something happens. I don't think it's a clean victory, but I think Garcia gets the upset.
I can see there being something that's distracting for MJF. I mean, did he ever get that ring back?
It was stolen in real life. And yeah, I mean, Danny Garcia is the man. I mean,
oh, wait, like the belt?
No, the ring was stolen. It was not like the belt. It was just, they don't know what happened to it. I told you about this already.
I forget, guys. I sleep a lot.
That's why they put it in kayfabe that he stole it and pawned it in Buffalo. But yeah, I love Taryn too. I love Danny too. Like he was so fun on the cruise. He's both cruises. I still love the last night, everybody carrying him down the hall. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen. I know Taryn, you guys were there. I think I passed out like a little bitch, but that was still the funniest moment.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't understand. MJF's a millionaire, and that spray tan looks like it's about $5. So I don't get that either. So do you think MJF or do you think Daniel Garcia?
I want Garcia. I could see it going either way. I can't really pick.
Well, you got to. It's a prediction show.
I don't want to.
You got to. Put me on the spot.
Okay, on the spot, I'm gonna say Daniel Garcia because that's right. How you get him to sign. That's how you get him to stick around. You're like, win over MJF. That's huge. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Now, I'm sorry, just realized we have no pre-show matches on here either, but we do have a couple interesting matches coming up. All right.
That's a big one.
I wish we become signed AEW. I don't know. I know the I don't know. Last year's All Out was better than All In, so that's a bold statement, Gary. I don't know if this is going to be better than last year's All Out. I think this will definitely be a great All Out. But we only have 8 matches right now, so there's still at least Saraya and Hayter's match to be added, and probably one more. I don't know. It has the potential to be a good All Out, but I don't know if it's going to be, say, better than last year's personally. But only because, this next match really has me kind of like, this is my bathroom break match. The Young Bucks versus BCC. I'm just over the Young Bucks. I'll say it. Like, I get their gimmick, but they don't need to have the belts.
No, I
think this should be Grizzled Young Vets spot. But Young Bucks take it. I don't see it. They're not going to give, again, the trios champions in a match if they don't need to win. I see the Young Bucks retaining. Hopefully, maybe something happens after the match and we have a new tag team debut, but I don't want to put that out there. But I do want to say Detroit is close to Chicago. So I'm going to be a little hopeful here. I know I'm probably not right, but I'm hoping that maybe since Detroit's close to Chicago, that this match is not a throwaway for a reason. And then we're going to have the Grizzly Young Vets as well as another tag team that's really going to shake up this division and get it back to where it needs to be. Even though those rumors are signed elsewhere, I'm sticking to my guns.
I get it now.
I'm sticking to my guns.
I don't want to say it and jinx it.
Yeah, Grizzly Young Vets need those titles. I agree. But this is where if Motor City Machine Gun is signed, again, no one knows where the hell they're signed. There's rumors everywhere. I think this is a spot you debut them. All In's kind of like that reset. It's kind of like how WrestleMania resets the storylines. We're going into Wrestle Dreams next in October.
Yeah.
And then Full Gear, World's End. And then we're heading into 2025. You kind of need that spark. The one thing that's been lacking in AEW is the tag division.
Which is so weird.
Look who has the titles.
Every time they have the titles, it's shit.
They're not defending them. That's the issue. But I don't want to get too down that rabbit hole. And then we have Tony has showcased that's it. Like tonight, the Outrunners getting a win. I'm not saying as of today. I'm just saying the past few months it's been kind of on a downturn. It's going to pick up. If that's the one thing I love about watching AEW is when something's not working, it gets fixed. Look, we didn't have to see the Nightmare Collective for more than 3 minutes.
True.
Just saying. We didn't have to see Brandy Rhodes for more. She got booed out of the building after a while. So like when things don't work, it's great.
Yeah.
And also, they got to fire Fragile Phil a year ago, so it's been great. It's been fantastic. So that leads us to the next match, which I know Gary's excited for, and I'm excited for. Willow Nightingale versus Kris Statlander in a Chicago street fight with Stokely Hathaway. So I'm just really excited about where this is going to go with Willow and Stat. I feel like Willow's kind of had the upper hand the whole rivalry, but tonight on Collision, Kris Statlander cut an impassionate promo where she basically said, "You never gave me my rematch. You're supposed to be this friendly, bubbly, happy-go-lucky, good person, but you forgot about your friend." So like they finally turned that page of why Statlander turned on her. Like it wasn't just jealousy. It was, I was your friend and you couldn't even give me a rematch. I didn't even get pinned for it. Remember, she didn't lose it. She didn't get pinned. That's true. But
I never thought of that. This whole time I've been like, my girl.
So I think
girl.
I am going to go bold. I think Statlander wins this. It's a street fight. the odds are in Statlander's favor, and Stokely has a trick up his sleeve.
You say that they're in her favor, but I want to point out one thing is that Willow is like the queen of street fights.
She is. However, Darby was also the king of coffin matches. So, but Stokely has a little trick up his sleeve, and I think he made a phone call. I originally thought it was going somewhere else, but maybe it fits in here. I think maybe I think we have someone who comes out to help Statlander. I think Statlander has friends. Can you imagine Megan Bayne and Statlander teaming up together? They're teasing that women's tag division.
She has done a lot of traveling through the New England scene, so she would know both of them very well.
And she knows Stokely very well because Stokely knew her from Limitless. I just want to point that out. So Megan Bayne, Megasis, can you imagine? And because I mean, originally I was thinking she's going to debut with Mercedes, but that's the Renegade Twins. So Megan Bayne's in Chicago. She was there last night for House of Glory. Again, these are my tinfoil hat bold predictions. Times of pay-per-view in Australia. What's 8:00 Eastern? I don't know how far apart Australia is, but why don't you tell me who you think is going to win Willow and Stat, and I'll look up the Australia time for
Willow and Stat. I want Willow to take this because, again, she's the queen of these. I think that Willow is just great with these matches. They're always fun. I mean, she's not scared to put herself out there and go through tables and go through like all these things. I think it's going to be a great match regardless. Maybe Kris Statlander needs to pull the alien out to win. I don't know.
Boop. And Catherine, answer your question. I think it starts at 10 a.m. Well, I think the pre-show will start at 9 a.m. Australian time tomorrow or Saturday, because it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, 7 p.m. for the pre-show, but 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which looks like about 10 o'clock Australian time, if I got that correct. I'm not sure exactly. Time zones aren't my strong point. But that's what I think. And then we have Susan, Danielson, Perry. After Perry loses, the Jackson boys and Okada jump Danielson, prompting Claudio Yuta calm Danielson's day, but then they turn the Elite. This will make the Elite and BCC super group that nobody saw coming. Oh, I thought I had the tinfoil going. I like that one.
Yes.
Susan with a super group, like the super faction, which
I could see that for real.
I could definitely see.
This isn't your company. Who was he talking to?
Yeah, Mox has got something planned. I mean, we haven't seen what he's done tonight. Him and Marina have teamed up. Also, another fun fact, you know who Marina's also teamed with and fought? Megan Bayne. And if you want to see a really cool video, if you guys want to see Megan Bayne, see how strong she is, look up Megan Bayne versus Cruel, Krule. She literally took a 6'8" dude and was throwing him around the ring. I just want to point that out.
I can't take him serious anymore after I bumped into him after he got done his match. I only recognized him because the guy was 8 feet tall.
Yeah, he's
so intimidating, man. Even outside of his mask is like creepy too, but it's great. Like his whole thing is just great. We saw him live with Baron. What was his name?
I don't remember.
I almost said Baron Corbin. That's not his name. Colby Carino, way better than Baron Corbin.
No, Tony, he's 6'8". He's got like an old Jason Voorhees style mask that he's modified.
I'll try and pull a picture up.
He is, I think he's an MLW now. He wasn't DPW. He is a big dude. He kind of reminds me of like
OVW, I believe, as well.
A more jacked Kane that can wrestle, like if that's the best way to describe it. He is a big dude. He, I believe, was muscle for MJF for a while in MLW. Yeah, is that going to show on the camera?
I'm going to try.
Yeah, he is a big boy. And he has a very domineering presence. Seeing him wrestle her was fun. That's definitely a match I recommend. All right. So
we were actually here for this. Like, he's tall.
6'8". He's massive. All right. So the next one we have, and did you say Willow?
Yes, I said
okay,
Willow.
I want to make sure I had my notes right. All right. So the next one we have is Mercedes Mone versus Hikaru Shida, who just beat Deonna Purrazzo on Collision. So she's going after the TBS title, and now Camille is banned from ringside.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Well, it does.
It does, but
it does because she said she had a plan. We don't know what the plan is. Is that the Renegade Twins?
That's why I said it doesn't matter. That Camille's
it does
banned.
Matter because now
we're gonna get new people. So she's still gonna have people.
But that's what I'm saying. It does matter because it sets up that story. Because it gives you the thought that does Shida have the advantage? Or does Mercedes? Now Mercedes is actually out right now confronting Shida after this match. So
without Camille.
Which because I'm sure Camille's gonna attack her. Oh, right as I say that, Camille jumps in the ring and takes her out. Exactly. She has a plan. So what is exactly the plan? Is it backup? Is it to try to take out Shida before the match?
The Mone Corporation.
A terrible name, by the way. Terrible name.
It is, but I bet it's there.
Oh, no, I know. So unfortunately, I don't see Shida winning this. I don't see her. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see Shida win the TBS title, I don't see Mercedes losing this belt. I don't see her losing her grasp. I think they want her to be two belts Mone for a while because she's been really laying into that gimmick. What about you?
Oh, I think that we see the Renegade Twins. They've been teasing it for a hot while. I found a picture that one of them posted today, and they said "good vibes only," and they had little sunglasses on, and we all know that that's what Mercedes started off with for a while. She had the different types of sunglasses and stuff. Listen, I'm stretching.
I was gonna say
stretching.
I'm gonna call you Irish Neep here in a minute because that's stretch Armstrong. I love Mercedes. I like Mercedes Tony. I just think that I don't think she needs to be a champion to be dominant. I get why they're doing it. She's the face of TBS. I'm not blind. She's
everywhere with that. It's perfect.
It's hard personally to see when she has a match. I don't like watching a match when there's no chance for that person to win. So I just want there to be some sort of chance, some sort of threat to her title. And so far, I think Shida's really been the only one that I think could be a credible threat. But again, she has her plan, which the Renegade Twins, or it could be Mega. I could be wrong. It could be Megasaurus here too. It could be Megan Bane. She could have two monsters to kind of keep her in line.
I want to point out amazing new shirt.
Oh, FTR Chicago shirt.
It's so cool. The colors are so bright.
Are we going to get FTR versus Grizzly Young Vets? Because then we can call that match.
That would be great.
Because we only have 2 matches left. So I guess we'll start going over those while we find that out. So why don't we go with Bryan Danielson versus Scapegoat Jack Perry? I
think this is going to help define Jack Perry. I think
more.
Yeah, obviously he's really come from nothing at the moment. He really cultivated himself this run. I think that it's been really fun to watch him dig into his own passions. I mean, we all during the pandemic found something that we had as a hobby, and I think Jack Perry found his while he was out.
Which one? Smelting?
Everything. This whole
making leather, making
whole
videos.
Thing. So
he had the whole Nepo baby stigma on him for a while because he was Luke Perry's son, and then he was called, Jungle Boy forever. And then when Fragile Phil got all in his feelings and tried to put him in a headlock, which just like his UFC career, he's 0-3. He couldn't do it, and Jack Perry had to go through a shitstorm that wasn't his fault. I don't care. That's the truth. You can't attack your coworker because they said mean words. Because they hurt your feelings.
Burn their house down.
You can if it's wrestling. But I think he took a ball of shit and ran with it. And even JR gave him compliments that he was put in a bad situation, went to New Japan, reinvented his entire gimmick. Remember, New Japan Strong, he came out earlier this year, and I believe it was February or March, and the whole crowd was booing, but by the end of the match, they were cheering him. So he's going to come out to nuclear heat in Chicago, but I think he's going to embrace that. He's just going to soak it all in. I think that's the plan. Is this where you get
Crimea River?
Hey, listen, if I don't get Justin Timberlake's Crimea River to play him out, I'm going to be upset.
At least once.
And then we got Jeff. Bryan with the win. He will definitely help put Jack over. And see, Jeff gets it. Jeff understands. You run with the ball of shit all the time, Dez. sometimes just make sure you don't drop that ball. That's all. And then we have Tony. I wish so coming out as Jack Perry. That would be hilarious. Jenny Garth managing.
I do love Jenny Garth.
I think I'd pop pretty hard for that, but I just know signs are they're probably leaving Chicago for their pay-per-views. Signs are they're probably looking to move elsewhere. Ticket sales have gone down for Chicago because, again, they've run this market now 5 times for a pay-per-view. I think you got to go out with a bang, and what better way than to have probably the most hated person in Chicago, because a lot of the Punk loyalists they hate Jack Perry because he's Jack Perry, whatever. He's going to get that nuclear heat, cheap heat, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be amazing to see. It's going to be amazing to have that vibe. And then Bryan Danielson, like Jeff said, he's just going to put him over, and on his way out from full time, he's going to help elevate some of these talent. And regardless of how short or long this title run is, it has a purpose. And I think this is the first one, because Jack Perry reminded everyone he pinned Bryan Danielson in May at Double or Nothing. He's earned his title shot. He's had title shot. He's been there. He did all this shit. So he answered the open challenge. So storyline wise, it makes sense. And I think overall, Bryan Danielson is going to win. And I think it'll be a 30-minute classic match. I think it'll be one of those matches where Jack Perry will surprise a lot of people, because people crap on his abilities, but have they seen him? He's actually a good worker. I think the reason people didn't like him is because he was with a dinosaur. That's just my thoughts.
But they love Christian.
That's because he's not with a dinosaur. He's with Killswitch.
That's because he's their daddy.
I'm surprised Christian's not anywhere on this card, too.
Tell us we don't have parent issues. Man, daddy and mommy really got over.
How many people will get to that 02 if she came out with him? At least Tony, myself, and maybe you, Jason. Yeah. Maximum male models with the Acclaimed. Well, that's something we don't have to pay attention to while we do the next one, because it's the Acclaimed. And then we haven't had any other matches added yet, so I guess we're going to have to go with the unsanctioned main event, because basically Tony Khan put in kayfabe. They don't want to be responsible for what happens in this steel cage, but we have Swerve versus Hangman Page in a lights out steel cage. That's Ryan didn't need to do that. Clearly main event going on last. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath. That's all I got to say. Like, if you thought that Texas death match was wild.
So this is just it. When I think of Hangman versus Swerve, I think of Hangman becoming a fucking vampire. What is he going to do with a cage?
That's right, Jeff. Christian is a fucking savage. I think, what aren't they going to do? I think it's just, they're going to just beat the holy hell out of each other. They're going to, they're going to go next level. I think the reason why they turned it lights out is because they want you to know it's going to be brutal. Hangman has been in plenty of death matches. Swerve was in CCW, has been in plenty of death matches. They're not afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to throw themselves around. I see them getting out of the cage at one point, going around the ring. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be everything you expect and more. Anytime there's been a lights out match, it's been gruesome. And that's what it's going to be. This feud's been building since like October of last year. And one of the lines Swerve said to Hangman that stuck with me was, I'm here to basically take your spot, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. And then him breaking into his house and just setting Hangman down this path of just delusion. And why does everybody still love Swerve? He's a piece of shit. He broke in my house, and he did this and he did that, to the teasing with his, Tron showing the different visuals of the house burning, the fire and the horse's eyes, to him costing Swerve. It just, everything has been for a purpose, and Hangman is just whole soul focused. He told Swerve he's going to burn his world down, and he did. He burnt down his childhood home to end Dynamite, was sort of basically distraught in the ring. And Swerve even proved that he's not as good as he's been leading on. Remember, he told Hangman, I saw you and your pregnant wife. One, he outed that Hangman's wife was pregnant again. Two, clearly he was keeping tabs on him and her. So he's like, I was right. It reminds me of Kevin Owens when he was talking to Ezekiel, and he was like, I knew it. Like, That's what I feel like Hangman was doing inside. Like,
can we get that story back? Can we get a funny story like that?
No, that was an awful story. I don't want that back. I don't know. I don't think they do tops on these cages, Jeff. So I don't know if they'll do a spot, but maybe they'll do like something together on top of like the scaffolding.
Do you mean like what Adam did when Adam went onto the top of the cage?
No, let's not talk about that.
No, I'm not talking about the bad part.
I don't want to do anything on top. Cody broke his foot. Adam broke his foot on top. They don't have good luck on top of their cages.
Yes, what I said was no. I'm over here, no.
But I think Hangman gets the win here. I think Swerve's gotten the last few wins over Hangman in this rivalry. I think it's got to be Hangman. I mean, the feud's not done. It's not done. But I think Hangman gets it. Because I think the next time they go at it, it's going to be for the title. I don't know when. I don't know where, but it's going to be at the title. I'm just really excited to see the entrances, what they pull off. I'm excited to see the viciousness of it and the video packages. I think that's my favorite part lately is them showing that this story is because, for a company that doesn't tell stories, there's at least 3 long-term stories on this card already. So I'm excited to see, I believe, because after Collision, it's Rampage, and after Rampage, it's the road to All Out. So there's going to be a lot of well-produced documentaries. So again, if you don't know what's going on, those are great to watch. Even those close-ups for Renee, those have been fun to watch.
Those have been really good. I really enjoy them. Hate You hasn't really been like my thing. So seeing close-up with Renee was good.
Hate EW. Hate EW, not Hate You. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Ew.
So who do you think? Do you think Swerve or do you think Hangman? Or you don't know?
I feel like Swerve has to come out on top after he burnt his house down. But also, I'm wondering...
I agree with Jeff.
There's 2 times that we could see someone come back, and I know that it's a long shot for them to come back because diverticulitis is definitely something that takes a little bit to come back from. However, to make a point and to be like, what the fuck is going on here? We could have Kenny Omega come in dad mode and be like, what is this?
Yeah, but he doesn't care about Hangman right now. That whole thing, that wouldn't make sense because they didn't leave off with a good foot.
I said there's 2 things he could come back for.
The only thing I think he would come back for is Okada because they had that stare down before he got taken out.
Oh, you don't think he'd go after the Bucks and be like, what the fuck's going on?
Not yet. Not until he has his tag partner. The Golden Lovers. The team you absolutely hate.
I don't hate.
You hate the name.
Because it reminds me of the time I almost got myself in trouble.
I do want to ask Jeff, since you're in the comments, the Outrunners getting their first one on national television, Jeff. How are we feeling? There's a really creepy scapegoat mask in the crowd. So that's how short this card is already. Like, that's why I'm really curious. Like, there's got to be more. Because I think it's the quickest we've ever run down a card.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just kind of shocked.
They haven't added anything. I'll refresh the page, but we've been watching on the side, but they haven't added anything yet.
Mariah
was talking, but she cut a promo. Yeah, there's been nothing added as of not even the pre-show. So there's got to be some pre-show matches. There's always 2 or 3. There's got to be some sort of, and there's already 2 women's matches, but do you know what you can put on the pre-show? I'm going to try to will it into existence here, guys. I want my casino gauntlet, but with women. Put that on the pre-show. You have women who aren't being used.
There's so many between Ring of Honor and AEW
Put it on the pre-show.
You could do.
That'll be 3 women's match. And the gauntlet has been such a fun concept. And if you can make that All In gets the men's, All Out gets the women's. It's kind of like how Royal Rumble is going to 2 nights. The men's on one night, women on the next night. That's what they want to do. Why not separate it? It's already been a fun concept. You can make it as long as short as you need to. You can showcase the women you need to. And I'm also surprised, why isn't Ricochet on this card?
That's true. I feel like they're kind of saving Ricochet. Maybe he comes out to interfere.
Maybe
he shows up.
Where's he been?
Maybe he's working out back.
You always think the good in that, but not everyone produces and wants to work out back. Producing is a very
I didn't say he was. Job. I meant like training himself. Maybe he's working on himself with everybody.
Is he out back with one of those what is it? Percus systems? Glide from the movie Heavyweights with Ben Stiller. Glide. What are you doing? I'm percusizing, Tony. Yes, ladies gauntlet. See, Jeff agrees with me on that one. I just think it'd be fun. Utilize more talent, and that's why I think it's great. Is because
and it builds stories.
I mean, All In had 12 people in out of 21, so you have a maximum of 21. You could either do 4 or you could do 19. And
you could do 2.
Each time it's different. Yeah, you could have a shock. Well, I think that would kind of suck.
It would suck. I'm just saying
you could have a shock and end it quickly, like with 4. But I remember, I believe it was All Out 2021 when they did the women's one, or it was 2020. They did one where it was a woman, and that's when B. Priestley was there. And they had a lot of talent featured, and that's actually Teal Piper was there too. Remember Roddy Piper's daughter? Yes. So they've showcased even a lot of talent who aren't signed, and I think that's a good opportunity. Yeah, I wonder if they'll announce more matches on Rampage too, to try to get you to watch those. Because right now they're doing the All-Star, which
they're just trying to keep me up.
Fun fact, this All-Star match is the first time in AEW history where every single male title the champion everyone is a champion. So every single person is a champion in AEW. It's the first time in history it's ever happened, which is kind of neat, but also kind of like, I see why they call it the All-Star now, but when you think about who these guys are wrestling tomorrow, the fact that they're all in a match like this right now is kind of wild. All right.
Which would be cool to get another, like,
I think he needs some
story
storylines
made out of what happened.
Well, I mean, they kind of teased a little with Will Ospreay and Pac. Remember, he came out, and that's why Pac attacked him. Like, no, don't forget about me, William.
Yes.
So, I'm just trying to think.
He ruins everything.
Maybe afterwards, maybe does Ricochet challenge him, and they build a program too. Because do you really do Ospreay?
You can't have it be a one-off. Sorry, you can't.
But do you do Ospreay right away, or do you save Ospreay? I feel like you save and you build Ospreay Ricochet. You do that too. You do that something like that in Australia. You do that at Grand Slam in Australia. You build to that. You make that mean something, because tickets go on sale next week, by the way. I know we had someone from Australia in the comments. So if you're near Brisbane, and then we have Grand Slam in New York. We have Darby, who's going to face whoever comes out. So if Bryan Danielson loses, Darby could face Jack Perry for the world title.
That's true.
And they got that built to as well. So yeah, Jeff, save Ospreay. I agree.
Oh, Jason, that's a good point.
Ricochet could be on commentary for that match.
It's a really good point.
Yeah. I just feel like they got to at least showcase him somewhere, even if it's just him challenging or having a match, like not a match, but like a spot, like where he comes out and like comes into the ring or something and challenges. So I really think there's definitely at least 1 or 2 more matches they got to add into this and maybe 4 with pre-show, but 8 matches is a pretty short card for them. And there's not really a lot Bryan Danielson and Swerve I can see going the longest, and maybe Pac, but the rest will be kind of probably 25, 30-minute matches. So there's got to be some more they're going to add to this. And I think this is the latest. So maybe there's some surprises we don't know about.
I mean, maybe they utilize the cage more than once.
I don't think they would do. They're not WWE. I don't think they would want to do 2 cage matches on one card, because that just overkills it. Because that would take the meaning away from Swerve.
You're right. You gotta ruin the fun. Poke my bubble.
I mean, you gotta pop them, because you gotta sometimes pop mine. Like, my crazy ass today has already predicted Megan Bayne and the Motor City Machine Guns, even though it's more than likely that they're probably signed to WWE. But I'm not giving up hope until they fucking debut somewhere. I am not giving up hope. Damn chores, I missed most of the show. Well, Matt, why were you being such a responsible adult then, Matt? Like,
you gotta put those off. If you ask a Heels member, they'll just tell you to ask Will Ospreay to do your dishes.
Scrub Daddy. I saw that picture everywhere on Twitter today, so I'm guessing that must be a joke. Scrub Daddy. Yeah, that you'll have to do it. Maybe you'll have to do a little bit of a recap. Habit, bro. My bad. Listen, Matt, we have to sometimes listen to our inner child and slap our exit adult. Like, we can't. It's okay to give in sometimes, but that's all out. That's the predictions. I don't really know.
We'll comment back and forth underneath this live thread when we get more matches added as well.
Yeah, Taryn.
You should not, Taryn. I only join in for small things.
Like the Ospreay, that little interview. But yeah, I think you'd probably face palm. We'll tell you off air. It's a great community. However, there are some things that could be left for other channels. I'll just say, like, left for other times and places. But I think that
it's a great support system.
I think the one thing I guess we'll end on, so we have a few minutes here. Jericho Cruise is coming up in 4.5 months. We already have probably one of the best lineups, probably that we've had since Cruise 2. And I'm looking forward to see what kind of shenanigans this cruise entails, and I'm looking forward to seeing who we get on the boat in this new crop talent. Can you imagine Ricochet coming on? How fun that would be to see him.
There's just like, I'm excited just to have Liger. Like, what?
Liger is going to be awesome. I'll be on the cruise to the third. All right.
Nice. 3 times. Welcome back.
I love it. Let's see. Matt and Taryn, you guys will be 6,
and
right? And Des. Jeff, myself, Emily will be 5. We have Jason, that's 3. Got a lot of cruise veterans here. I like it. I'm just so excited to, like, that's why I think I like watching these pay-per-views too. It's because then when you go on the cruise, it's such a different world. It's like going to these pay-per-views. It's like going to these meetups and stuff. It's kind of what we thought Heels was going to be for you. It's what the cruise is. Because kind of what I thought some of these Discords that I joined to meet up with people was going to be, and then no one showed up to the event. I was by myself. But that's a different story.
Taryn, he does not know what, at least the last time we spoke, he did not know what was up. He asked what was going to be up with it. And I said, don't worry, you can always go back to your room. They're huge. And he said, are they really? And I was like, nah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad Taryn, he'll definitely have to come, because I think he was definitely intimidated by some of the prospects of some of the more markier marks.
Yeah, I would just like let him know first timers are first timers and the rest are us, and it's okay. We saw him in July at a convention.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him here to save the world. Here to save the world. Come on. Like maybe he wins the Oceanic title. I think that Oceanic title look real good around Nick Nemeth's waist. He is a wanted man.
He said he was above that title, though, so I don't think he'll be wrestling for that.
I love your way of explaining. I can only imagine.
Yeah, Nick did say that title was above him when I said, but Matt Cardona won it, and he was like, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, we're going there.
Right.
It was great.
Oh, I know. I can't wait. I always feel like right around this time,
that's distracting.
I always feel like right around this time, I'm like, all right, everybody's like, oh, the holidays. I'm like, the cruise. Everybody's like, oh my God, Halloween and Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, the cruise.
And Halloween, I just bought a 5-foot skeleton. I can't wait for those.
Yeah, you should see. I came home from work and there's a giant skeleton on my couch. I was super confused.
It was in the passenger seat on my way home. I fully had it sitting up in the passenger seat.
We saw him in July in Raleigh, so it was like right after he was announced, Taryn. It was at GalaxyCon. So I think it was like right at the end of so probably like beginning of August, end of July. It was like the 31st, I think. Who was it? First time I've ever met him. He was a nice guy. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone on the cruise. I think it's going to be fun. But again, looking forward to seeing Matt, Taryn, Des, everyone who's seeing you guys.
Our family.
It's our cruise family. That's what I look forward to the most. That's why I love chatting. I can't wait to just hang out again. It's like a high school reunion, but people you actually like. I mean, I just got an invite to my high school reunion. Like, are you coming? I'm like, no, I'm not. I rather
guys, you can't skip Halloween. You can't.
Yeah, but Matt's with me at cruise.
Halloween.
We can dress up on the boat. All right. I have video proof of Nolar Bear and Matt rocking the hell out of those blazers. You can dress up on the cruise. That's why it's on the intro at the end. And can't wait because I have some fun cosplay ideas. I know Emily kind of get me into a group costume apparently, so we'll see how that works out.
I can't wait to have my costume. I'm going old school Big Show, long hair.
Absolutely, Jeff. I can't wait to see you and Rachel again. Have all the fun shenanigans. Can't wait to see what you guys have planned. I've only heard a little bit, but
hopefully we can make it over.
I know. Hopefully, depending on my work schedule, we want to come down so we can see Dez versus Cheese and make sure see Taryn accompany Dez to the ring, and it'll be a fun time. And that's the great thing. A lot of fun cruise pre-activities, post-activities. I'm looking forward to all of it, and looking forward to basically this fall coming up. And I don't want it to go by too quick because I don't want to have to pay taxes, but I want that cruise.
Yeah, I'm a waitress. Let's not talk about tax season.
All right, but yeah.
Speaking of, come see me if you know. If you don't know, don't know.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Well, on that note, I hope everyone enjoys the show tomorrow. Can't wait. If you're coming on the cruise, we have a cruise special we want to do coming up soon, kind of going over what we're looking forward to and just overall talking about having fun. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Oh, I like that though.
I like it.
A little bit of spoiler alert here, or teasing here, as we say. Make sure also too you check out TDS next Tuesday. Make sure it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday. I think this was Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry, Taryn. So TDS, Taryn and Des Show, 150th episode. Exactly. Make sure you tune in. Congratulations. The OG, the official party podcast of the Jericho Cruise. Make sure you check it out. Tuesday, Taryn and Des Show on Facebook. Make sure you follow them to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as well. It's streamed there. Check them out next Tuesday. Okay, good. I don't want to screw that up because I'm not good with my times. So yeah, go check them out. They'll be streaming next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Can't wait to talk to you. Can't wait to watch you guys on the show. Hope everyone enjoys the show. Hope everyone has a great time. And we'll see you guys on the cruise, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, everyone.